Well, goddamn, what's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and a lot of you guys have been hitting me up asking me to share my first impressions on Sue Storm's Future Foundation uniform. So that's what we're going to be doing for this one, man. I want to give you guys my initial impressions because I know a lot of you guys, you've been waiting for this moment, man, because Sue Storm is one of the most useful characters in the game, especially when it comes to World Boss Ultimate. That 5 seconds of charm may not seem like a lot, but it definitely adds a lot of value in World Boss Ultimate. Oftentimes, just her popping that charm can really turn the tide of a fight, turn a chaotic situation where you may be dead into a win for you. Just with a simple charm, she makes such a big impact, right? And the stronger you make Sue Storm, the more damage she's gonna do when she comes in as a striker. So for me personally, right, this uniform is a no-brainer, right? The more damage she can do for me, the better, because she's always in my list of strikers every single time I'm running World Boss Ultimate. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's a must-buy, probably the only must-buy uniform from this update. Not necessarily because of the fact that she's becoming a game-breaking character on her own, simply because she's offering me more damage as a striker, right? In addition to that, she still has the hidden defense down on her third skill, which can apply to World Boss Ultimate, and she still seems to favor these two skills whenever using her as a striker, so that's really good. However, for those of you guys who don't care about the additional damage from the uniform when she's your striker, is the uniform worth it to you? Well, that's going to be ultimately up to you to decide. Personally, I think this uniform is an upgrade, right? She's getting a pretty sizable stat bump with the energy attack as the uniform bonus. And of course, a 15% all attack buff, which when you get this uniform to Mythic, that will become 25%. And honestly, her new fourth and her fifth skills hit much harder. However, what I've found with the character so far, it may be because I'm still a bit new using the uniform, but ultimately I think it's because of the fact that Netmar will change the cooldown times. What I've found with the character so far is it's actually much harder to land a damage proc consistently on her fifth skill, because the cooldown times on both her fourth and her fifth are actually longer than they used to be. If you take a look at this right here, the fourth skill used to be 12 seconds. The fifth skill used to be 13 seconds. If you take a look at the uniform, you'll notice the new fourth skill is 16 seconds and the new fifth skill is 18 seconds. No idea why they actually did this, because even though these skills are doing more damage now, if you're missing your damage proc more often, in some situations you may actually end up dealing less damage with the uniform. And it's not necessarily because the uniform is worse than the base kit, it's just because you can't land your damage proc as consistently. In addition to that, the bind on the fifth skill, you can see for yourself, has been reduced from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. Not a big change, right? And also the damage proc that used to be on the fourth skill is now gone, but the damage on the fourth skill is still really good. For me, the rotation I've been using with her, which I'm gonna use in the uniform today, is actually 4 cancel 5, because yes, you can cancel the 4 into the 5 and the 4 will still go off. One thing I found to be the case though is the radius in which you can initiate the fifth skill seems to be a little bit shorter than the fourth skill, so you want to get as close to the boss or the character as possible, just to ensure that you can cancel the fourth skill in time to land at least your first damage block on your fifth skill. The fifth skill has a lot of damage, a lot of hits, so you definitely want to do that. You want to go 4 cancel 5, and for me, I then hit the charm, and then I hit the 3 skill for the defense down, then I use the 1 skill. The way how she plays now with the longer cooldown times, for stuff like Shadowland, you ideally want to use all of her skills. Or even for World Boss Ultimate, you can still use all of her skills because you're going to have the boss charmed most of the time. Thankfully, right, they didn't play around with the cooldown on the 2 skill, because that would have really pissed off a whole lot of people. Now, like we did for her brother, we're actually going to take her into a little bit of content, and we're going to check out on average what the damage looks like without the uniform and with the uniform. Keep in mind, it's kind of a different rotation when I'm using her without the uniform than when I'm using her with the uniform. And honestly, even without the uniform, it was pretty inconsistent on my part keeping the damage proc, but it's definitely much harder to keep the damage proc with the uniform. And I don't want to just say CTP of Rage, but CTP of Rage will definitely fix this, because you can then just spam all her skills and you'll still just be fine, right? But honestly, I don't even want to think that that's the reason why they messed around with the cooldown. I don't want to say they're that slimy where they'll make a character much harder to land the damage proc with, just so people just say, you know what, forget a CTP of energy, which is what I was gonna give her, and then just say, you know what, CTP of rage, call it a day, because CTP of rage is not something you get every day. And I really don't think, even though they're pretty slimy sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Even though they're pretty slimy sometimes, I don't think they're that slimy. Like, but maybe I'm wrong, bro. Anyways, let's get it, man. Let's jump into a little bit of Shadowland here on stage 77. Yeah. And we're going to try to see how fast we can take out Thor and Groot with the base. And then we're going to try to see if we can beat it with the uniform. Now, without the uniform, I generally go 2 cancel, 4 cancel, 3, and then 2 cancel, 5. I generally do not use the 1 skill at all. And maybe because they heard me say I don't use the 1 skill, they made a new rotation in a way where you absolutely need to. I guess you don't absolutely have to do jack, but yeah. I'm just happy they kept the defense down, even though it's still hidden, which is fine, right? I'm happy they didn't remove it or make it a weaker form of defense down. And I'm also happy they didn't play around with the cooldown time on the uniform for her 2 skill. I'm just gonna keep these clowns in the corner. It's funny, they're getting pulled to me while I'm just trying to push them away. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of sad that they didn't play around with their 4-star passive or make her invisibility time longer. It's kind of crazy they give the thing 5 seconds of invisibility when she doesn't even have 5 seconds of invisibility. You know what I'm saying? If anybody should have 5, it should be her. Her damn name is Invisible Woman, right? But anyways, it's whatever. That's a topic for a whole nother video. And I guess we gotta let that thing have something, even though, boy, he got something. He got a lot, but it's just kind of sad that his damage just seems so underwhelming so far. Still gotta build him up and play with him some more, though. Come on, Thor. Please die. Just die. Okay, so this is taking me a full 2 minutes and 45, no, 50 seconds probably. Come on. There we go. All right, so it took me 2 minutes and about 17 seconds. Let's see if we can beat that. Lately, the load time for the game has been very wonky. Sometimes it will take literally 30 seconds to load a stage, which is pretty crazy. All right, so we're gonna have to move a little bit closer to them. That way we can cancel into the 5th. Also, one thing you guys are probably gonna notice here is she's gonna do more damage to Groot, or just Groot. She's gonna do more damage to Groot just because Groot has low resistances to fire damage, and now her new 4th skill does some elemental damage, which will make her slightly better for Ebony Maw. But for real, I don't know what possessed these guys to play around with her cooldown times. I really don't know what possessed them to do that, because now it's much harder to be consistent with their damage proc, which I don't think they even care about stuff like that. I think they just do what they want, and they don't really care about how the character plays for the most part, as long as they're still strong. I'm pretty sure they don't care about making it so that you can play the character optimally without a CTP of Rage, because otherwise the CTP of Rage wouldn't exist. The CTP of Rage is there to make up for when characters have really bad cooldown times or not enough hits on their skills to trigger a regular damage proc properly. Okay, Sue, I need you to focus on, yeah, just Thor. Also, you can immediately cancel the force skill. As soon as you click it, you can just click into something else. So Groot is long since dead. We're doing damage to Jane as well. Like, we could have killed Thor already if my damage procs were actually like on point. So that kind of sucks, man. It sucks big time. Just because the times are just so awkward now. All right, so it's gonna take me a little while to perfect using her. I still probably won't perfect using her, but I'm gonna play with her a little bit more. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of World Boss Ultimate gameplay, but the reset is gonna happen in a few minutes and I still have some things I need to finish up. So excuse me, fellas, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna catch up with you guys in the next one, I promise. Right, I'll showcase her in World Boss Ultimate for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, man. Just wanted to give y'all my first impressions on her really quickly. Stay tuned for more gameplay. I'm gonna fully awaken her, right, and I'm also gonna get all her gears to 25, and then we can look at how much stronger she gets in comparison to Psylocke, because I know a lot of you guys are gonna have that question for sure. All right, so thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch up with y'all in the next one. Peace.